now. And it's 9:05, 5 minutes after the hour here in California. I know some people will still continue to join. We have everybody on mute, and I think the way I have it set up is that you can't unmute unless we let you unmute. We will have captioning starting shortly. So for those of you that require captions, I guess you can't hear me if you do require it, but those will be starting in a minute. Meantime, okay. Meantime, I invite you all to our space. We thank you for coming. And we are here, we're near Berkeley right now, but we're in the East Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area, north and south of Berkeley. And we are on the ancient land of the Ohlone people, and we are grateful that they have invited us to be in their space, and we respect the unceded territories that they have in their communities. So here we are. My name is Martha Saavedra, and again, I know some people are still joining. Let me just, I'm writing something to the captioner. All right. Okay, I believe there is a captioner in the room here, and I don't know if that person can hear us because I don't see captions at this point. So I'm looking to see.
There was caption, but it dropped.
Yes, so we're just waiting to make sure that the captioner is still here, and I don't see them.
So on top says a caption has enabled closed caption.
Okay. Okay, I got it. I see it now. Wonderful. All right, everyone, welcome, and we're glad you're here. Again, my name is Martha Saavedra. I am the Associate Director of the Center for African Studies, and I manage the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program here at the University of California, Berkeley. With me is my colleague, Maren Semadar, who is the advisor of the program, and Tammy Driver, the Special Operations Officer, I believe, is also in the audience, and our other colleague, Paul, I believe, is also in the audience. So welcome, and we will, at this point, go through our slide deck that we have, and at the end you can put questions in, ask us questions. All right, it's lovely to see where everybody's from. We have people from all over the continent with us, and we are here with the UC, part of the UC Graduate Diversity Fair. If you're not aware of that, it's a full week of online shows for everyone, and online presentations by all the different graduate programs around the campus. And so look, if you haven't already, sign up for programs that are of interest to you to learn more about what is available at the graduate level at Berkeley. Next slide. So to give you a little bit background on the Mastercard Foundation Scholar Program, it started in 2012, and UC Berkeley was part of it at the beginning. Overall, the goal of the Mastercard Foundation, their strategy is Young Africa Works, to help 30 million young African youth find dignified and fulfilling employment by 2030. As I've mentioned, UC Berkeley has been a partner in this program since 2012. We are now in the second phase of our work with the foundation. In the first phase, we had both undergraduate and graduate master's degree students. At this point, we only, in the second phase, we are only working with master's degree students. So we'll go through some details in the application process and the steps, and Maren will walk you through that. And then we'll also talk about the Scholars Program at Berkeley, the values, ethos, and expectations, some of the caveats, and then we'll get to your questions and answers. All right, next slide. Okay, so this is what I mentioned, the Africa Work Strategy, Africa's Future, via young people and employment. As you may know, Africa is the youngest continent, and very soon, most of the working population, or a good portion of the working population on the planet, will be African. So the Mastercard Foundation wants to make sure that they are fostering the next generation leaders who will contribute to social transformation and economic growth on the continent. So the foundation has committed to supporting over 100,000 scholars with partners all over the world, but mostly on the African continent. And this last point is most important. This is not a scholarship program per se. You don't just get money and come to school, but rather it's a transformative leadership development program, because the point is to get this wonderful education, but then be able to take what you learn and take all of the other things that come with the program and then return to the continent to bring about wonderful, positive transformation. Next slide. So Maren, do you want me to do this one, or do you want to take over?
Go ahead.
Okay. And it looks like people are drawing on the screen. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not sure if I can stop that, but in any case, all right. What does the Scholars Program include? So it includes tuition, health insurance, accommodations. Everybody in the first year stays in the International House. We cover travel to Berkeley, the cost of your visa, and when you arrive, you can get a laptop. For those that are in master's degree programs that are longer than 1 year, we would also support a summer internship that is based in Africa. You have to apply for this. It's not automatic. That's something else we can talk about later. Other parts of the program, transformative leadership training. There's a course that everyone takes in the spring. We have a student-led group called Sankofa, and the foundation also offers many opportunities for leadership. One emphasis of our program is entrepreneurship. Of course, we're in the Silicon Valley area. And so we have a boot camp that is actually going on right now for entrepreneurship. On the campus, there's multiple opportunities for entrepreneurship, networking, and mentoring. And we also work very closely with the African Diaspora Network, which is based here in the Bay Area, and has, again, a lot of opportunities and networking associated with that. We offer advising support, career development support, and really important, because one of the magic parts of the Scholars Program is the cohort, the network of other scholars and the alumni that you will get to meet, not just from Berkeley, but from all over the world. Next slide.
Okay, next slide is me. Before I move on, I'm just going to stop and reshare again to try to minimize. I see that some lines as well on the screen.
Okay. Thank you for your patience, everyone.
Okay, so I'll take it from here, Martha. Okay,
right.
So before I even go to the calendar, the big caveat that you have to focus on is you must apply to the program of your interest. You do not apply to the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program at UC Berkeley. We will find you. So what you have to work on between now and December 1st, which is a deadline for most programs, is that you must apply to the program of your interest. And one more important information is that the program that you apply, the master's program that you're going to apply, has to be a program that's eligible for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. There are some master's programs at UC Berkeley that are not eligible for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program at UC Berkeley, such as online programs, such as programs that does not fit in within our calendar. So over the scholarship program has been at Berkeley since 2012. We had finished the first grant, and then we were awarded the second grant. The second grant is in its third year, and we've been awarding between 12 and up to 19 scholarships annually. next year or this academic year that's coming. We're hoping to award between 13 to 29. We are currently in a discussion with the foundation to increase the numbers from the current number, which is 12 to 19, to about 13 to 29. So we hope that we'll be successful in that. So you are looking to be one of those scholars who would come here to Berkeley in the realm of between 13 to 29. So it's very competitive. And we encourage that you not only apply to Berkeley, but apply also to other partner institutions. So the timeline goes as September, the application for UC Berkeley opens, including we have a very, very limited application fee waiver. I'll talk about it. But the application fee waiver also opens in September. By November, we will determine who receives the application fee waiver. Again, it's very, very limited. We encourage that you try to pay for it by yourself, or also reach out to the programs as well. Ask them about application fee waiver. Between December to mid-January, it is a deadline for programs admission, and we expect the programs to send us nominations, who they think is going to be admitted to their program. And only then we will reach out to you. You do not reach out to us directly. You could ask us questions, any clarification that you need. We'll also share the email address for that at the end of this session. In February, once we get the nominees from programs, we'll review the pool of candidates. So it means we will read your application. We will also send you an application from the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship Program once we read your application to make sure that you are eligible. And then in March, we will invite selected candidates for online interview. And by the end of March or early April, we will do the announcement who received the scholarship program at UC Berkeley. So just to mind a little important things in mind. Berkeley is known a very highly competitive institution, but again, they consider many things. It's not only about your GPA, but also other aspects of your life, the statement of purpose, the personal history statement, and other things that you read, work you have done. So we encourage you to apply. Obviously, the application fee is not that small amount, but considering that, and you make the decision whether to apply or not. Having a bachelor degree and a general 3.0 GPA is mostly needed for master's degree. English proficiency language is also needed. If you are from a country or you have gotten your undergraduate degree from a country that English is not the official language, you will be needed to provide IELTS or TOEFL exam. And this, you must communicate with the program to make sure whether you need to provide those tests or not. GRE, only very few programs require at Berkeley. The vast majority of them are not needing it. And then, for the degree specification, deadline for most of programs for admission is December 1st. A few are early in January as well. So you have to reach out to the program. You have to be in continuous communication on what is important, what you might miss. So be in discussion with the programs. Some of you do send emails asking about admission, about certification to other scholars program at Berkeley. We cannot help you with that. You first have to be admitted by your program for us to be able to consider you for the scholars program at UC Berkeley. Know a little bit about the faculty, the staff, the program that you are applying. So this would help you to craft your statement of purpose and personal history statement as well. Or to make sure that if you are a good fit for this program or not. So again, application fee waiver, it's at $155 per person. You apply through the graduate division, and then it goes through a process called Slack. Last year, we received an application fee request for about 800 people. Imagine, for 800 people, that's a big number. We only have about 70 application fee waiver to give, and we requested some programs to help us, and they did. Some programs did provide specific application fee waiver for their students, the students that were applying to their program. So it's always important to ask your program, but also if you can pay it yourself, because the likelihood of getting an application fee waiver is very slim. Okay. And again, we do not assess with any standard test, TOEFL, IELTS. We don't also pay the SOFAS application fee. We only pay the regular application fee. Again, very, very limited application fees available. So far, the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program at Berkeley, we have a little over 143 alumni. Again, we are in its current grant. The grant will go until 2030, meaning the last cohort that we will take will be in 2028. So let's say if you're still busy doing your bachelor degree and you have not graduated yet, you can still graduate and you can still apply. There is a scholarship or the scholars program will still be around to take in scholars until 2028. And then they will graduate in 2030. So there is time. Or even in other case, let's say you didn't get the scholars program this year, you could come back and apply next year. So certain unique things that we look into, and I'll talk more about this in the next slide. We're looking for people who are transformative leaders. They are leaders in their community, leaders in their institution, leaders in members of their society. We're looking for entrepreneurs, meaning those who create businesses, not only for themselves, but also for others as well. We're looking for people who have the drive to give back to their community. And then those who intend to return to the continent. So for eligibility, you have to be from sub-Saharan African country. Sub-Saharan African country, African countries below the Arab-speaking North African countries. So if you are, let's say, from Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Morocco, you do not qualify for the scholars program, but most countries below that, about 45 countries, including Madagascar, qualify for the scholars program at UC Berkeley. You have to be academically excellent. Berkeley is not an easy institution, so you have to be able to be competitive. You demonstrate the commitment of being a transformative leader, as I was describing. You have the intent to give back to your community and to also go back to the continent. And you have to be financially disadvantaged. This is not for someone who's from a rich family or who has not struggled to get their undergraduate degree or their high schools or any other schooling that they did. And we encourage women, people with disability, and refugees and displaced people as well. So if you are from this kind of group of people, we strongly encourage you to apply. Also men, you should apply. So there is about 45 master's programs that are eligible for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program at Berkeley. You can find those on our website. And if you're not sure, you can always send us an email and we'll respond to your email within 1 to 2 business days. But all the programs you see here are eligible for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program at Berkeley. This is taken from our website. Again, if you're not sure about your program and you don't see it, do reach out to us. And sometimes do your homework as well. Don't just send a question asking, is this program available? You should go to the UC Berkeley website, graduate division, see if that program exists. In terms of communication, most important, as I started talking about, you only need to apply to the graduate program of your interest. We know how to find you, so you don't have to apply to us. We will reach out to you if you are nominated by your program, meaning if the program says this person is going to be admitted, we'll nominate you, they will nominate you to us, and then we'll reach out to you sometime early in 2024. We will only contact those who submitted application to the scholars program following nomination by their degree. This is to either encourage you to apply or to even inform you whether you've been nominated or whether you've been awarded. If you're not being nominated by a program to us, we will not contact you. We do not provide any explanation as to why someone was or was not awarded a place in the scholars program. We do not give that kind of feedback. And again, as you can see, that is our email address, mcfs.programinfo@berkeley.edu. Send you emails, any questions you have to this email address. We'll respond to them in 1 to 2 business days at the latest. Do not reach out to us through our personal work email address. This is the official email address where you need to send your questions. Again, I'll give you a second to write it. mcfs.programinfo@berkeley.edu. We'll put it also on the chat section. So that was our presentation for today. We will accept questions you have. We try to keep this moment, the question and answer session, more time to it.
Maren, there's plenty of questions in the question answer. I want to tackle a few that people are asking a lot. So one question, okay, any question about the actual admissions? We do not deal with admissions in our program. Those are handled by the graduate division overall and the specific graduate degree programs. So if you have questions about whether your GPA works, whether you need to take an English language test, anything about the admissions process and eligibility for admissions, you really, really need to talk to the program that you're interested in, and then also look at the graduate division website. We really are outside the admissions process. We only get involved once programs have begun to look through all the applications they get, and then they start to filter down the ones that they're considering. And it's about that time that we get involved. And then we will, if there's nowhere on the application, I mean, you might on the, if you say on the application that you're from sub-Saharan Africa, and then you continue through it, we will eventually see your application if the program is thinking of advancing you through their own process. So I hope that makes sense. So again, I'm trying to answer these questions in the Q&A as fast as possible. And again, I'll emphasize on the English language part of it, you really need to talk to the program that you're interested in and the graduate division. And again, we don't, unfortunately, we have no way of providing support for the tests that you need. Duolingual, I know for sure, does not apply at the graduate level. Somebody asks about actually there was one question at the top that I was going to answer live. This is only for master's degree programs. If there is a PhD option, and that is not something we cover, there's no PhDs, so just the master's degree programs. There are some master's degrees that are academic programs, as long as they're a terminal degree, that's fine. But if it's a program that is a joint master's and PhD program, we would not be able to consider that. In terms of the business program, the asterisks on the business program, because they have a very different cycle than the rest of the programs, they have 3 different deadlines. Because of the expense of the MBA program, the business degree program, because of the expense of it, we work in partnership with the Haas Business School. So anyone that would get that might get a scholarship, might get into the scholarship program and the business degree program, has to apply in the first by the first deadline, so that they can be considered for financial aid at the Haas Business School. So that's what the asterisk there means. So if you've missed the first round, I cannot guarantee that there would be any sponsorship. You would have to talk with the MBA program about that. And again, it's because we work very closely with them, and they would have to be able to award you financial aid that would go along with it. Similarly, with the concurrent degree programs, the reason why we don't consider those is because they tend, people will, the concurrent and the joint programs, they tend to be 3 years, and we cover at the maximum 2 years. And so we can't in good conscience, bring somebody in and say, we've got 2 years, but you're on your own for the 3rd year. So that's why we don't consider at this point the concurrent and the joint programs. Let's see, what are some of the other questions here? In terms of another session, this will be, we will, after we make sure that the captions are all working, we will then have this session videotaped. You can also see the session from last year, and well, a little bit has changed, not much, and so you can see the video for the one for last year. Another question about applying to multiple programs. No, and that's not our decision. That is something at the graduate division level. If you're applying to Berkeley, you choose one program and apply to that. you can in different years apply to different programs, and we've definitely seen that, but in 1 year, you can only apply to one program. Let's see, there's one more question about expectations or requirements for individuals who receive support from the foundation, and what are the criteria for maintaining their eligibility, for one, you have to remain a student in good standing. So in other words, if for some reason academically you are failing and the university says it dismisses you, then of course you'd be dismissed from the program as well. In terms of other things, you have to also stay within the bounds of the visa requirements. So if for some reason you got out of status and then the US government didn't want you in the country anymore, then of course that would also be a reason why your eligibility would go. We do have high expectations of the students. The ethical aspects of the transformative leadership are very important. All of the issues around being ethical, not cheating, not violating anything, those are really important. We do expect students to stay involved. There are very few mandatory things for our program. There's an entrepreneurship boot camp and a course in the spring, the transformative leadership course. We also have a retreat. All those things are actually really enjoyable, and it's mostly a matter of scheduling, but we really work to make sure that happens. But we do want students to stay engaged. We want students to communicate with us. One of the things we notice is that graduate students are very, very busy. We need to make sure that the Scholars Program is a priority, in that you respond to requests for communication, there's different points along the year and practical things and also opportunities. We want to make sure that you stay in communication with us. All right. I know that, let's see, there are some questions out there. And I'm trying to look to see how I can, because I have to unmute you if you're gonna ask these questions.
So there is a question: does the Scholars Program cover master's and PhD option, or just master's? The Scholars Program only covers master's program, and that master's degree has to be eligible for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program at UC Berkeley. So no PhDs, no undergraduate.
Right. Okay, I see some raised hands here, and Maren, you might want to go through the Q&A thing and maybe type some answers for that as well, but I'll go to Henry right now. Henry, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hello.
Yes, hi, Henry.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Ask.
Okay. Yes, my question is, your master program, there are two types, like in engineering. You have Master of Engineering, you have an MSc in engineering. So is your program covers a MSc? That is because MSc has a research component.
Right.
But Master of Engineering does not have a research component. So just because myself, I'm interested in research. The one that has a research component. So MSc, is it covered by a program?
Yes, the MSc, as long as it's a terminal degree, is, and I believe we've had a couple people with the MSc in engineering. So yes, but you may also want to just confirm with the program that it is a terminal degree and that it's not a joint a master's and PhD program. But I do believe that there are the MSc engineering programs. All right, I'm going to go to I am going to go to Anor right now. So you can unmute and ask your question. Maybe Evelyn and Ketya.
Okay.
Evelyn.
In the meantime, I'll answer another question. Can I still apply for the application fee waiver? If yes, how do I go about it? So yes, you can apply for the application fee waiver, but the way how the application fee waiver works is that you have to fill out as much as possible information on the demography section, but also you need to send at least 2 of your recommenders letter of recommendation to provide to you. Once you do that, the system will send you an email saying, would you like to apply for the application fee waiver from the graduate division? And that's how you get it. So you have to fill out as much as possible information, in the demography section, but also you have to send at least 2 of your recommenders an email to provide letter of recommendation for you. If you have not done that, you will not receive the application fee waiver application.
Okay, let's see. Aisha, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Aisha Mubarak.
Hi.
Hi.
All right. So my question is on the last slide, you mentioned that you don't give feedback as to why or why not an application was either accepted or rejected. However, isn't this important for future reference? For example, if my application gets denied this year, I'll need to know why, so that come next year and I still want to apply, I'll know what to do differently.
That's a good question, and it's very understandable that you'd want to know. This is what I will say is we get a lot of applications, a lot, and it's almost impossible to go through them. I will also say that we get a lot of excellent applications. Basically, if we're looking at your application, a program at Berkeley has either decided to admit you or is very seriously deciding to admit you. Anybody that gets admitted to Berkeley is an excellent student. So we're looking at a pool of people who are just absolutely excellent. If we had 500 scholarships, 500 people could get it. So the way that the reasons we make decisions are usually not because of something that you've done. It is around a whole combination of looking at all the different, the whole pool of people, the different programs, the different countries, the different things that people bring to the table. And believe me, it is a really, really hard decision. We do deliberate very carefully. It's not arbitrary, but it's almost impossible for us to say, oh, well, this is definitely the reason why this person didn't get it. I will say this, that if you do get to the interview stage, prepare, make sure that you're in a place that, and I know it's difficult to say, but that has electricity and connectivity. Make sure that you've had some sleep, that you're ready. But in your application, I would also, be very honest about everything, be very clear about your future, your plans. Of course, everybody, the future, who knows what's going to happen? There's always things that can happen, but it is important to have a sense of what do you want to use your degree for, and how will that be contributing to transformative change on the continent? So that's what we're really looking for, what the foundation is really looking for. But it is incredibly hard to be able to make these decisions. So I know that's not the best answer, but that's the best we can say. All right. Let's see.
Another question that needs clarification. Will those scholars be on a J1 visa or F1 visa? All our scholars at UC Berkeley are on a J1 visa. So you will apply for a J1 visa if you got the scholars program at UC Berkeley.
Mm-hmm. Right. And somebody asks, are those that have already been Mastercard Foundation scholars elsewhere eligible? Yes, we do take that into consideration, and the foundation wants as many people to experience this as possible, but it doesn't mean you're ineligible if you've had a scholars program elsewhere. It doesn't mean you have a better chance of getting it than anybody else. All right. Let's see. Okay. Oluwadamilola, I think I pronounced your name somewhat. So you can ask your question.
Hi, good day. Yes, my name is Oluwadamilola. So good job at that. Yeah. So my question is, in the event that I scale through, I am called to apply, because I learned that we'll still do a supplemental application after your degree program has actually nominated you. So what would you, I think you spoke to it a little when you were answering the last question, but I would just like to know that, what do you expect? What are sort of answers, are you looking forward to? How can somebody make the application really stand out? And then even for the interview, how does one prepare such that one is able to ace it? And then you know that you are giving the right answer and you stand a chance to get it. So I just would like to ask, how should a prospective scholar like prepare for the application and for the interview? Thank you.
Right. I will say there's not a right answer in that to anything that one might ask. You know, it is really about, you know, what it is that you wanted to do with your degree, with the future that you have, with the opportunities and the challenges that are presented on the African continent. I will say this is not an opportunity to get a green card. There are opportunities to stay and work in the United States for a little bit after graduation, but the intent is really that folks would return. That's why we do the J1 visa. So there's that. But I think the best thing is to be as honest as possible, to think very clearly about, you know, what impact you want to have. And I will also say this, there are a lot of challenges out there. I think it's unfair for anybody to consider that a young person should be able to, you know, save the world. I mean, we're not superheroes, we're humans. But in that humanity, you know, what is it that you can actually contribute? What is it that you are able to really do, including the challenges that you face? You know, how do the challenges you face, how have they shaped you and brought you to where you are and giving you that, you know, whatever vision it is that you have. So I would think about, you know, what is your vision? And how would that impact other people and impact the communities you're from? What kind of structural changes might even be possible? As well as thinking about the risks that you might face if you go forward with the kinds of changes that you would want to see in the world. So all of these things, you know, just to be very thoughtful about it. Humility is good. Being comfortable with the choices that you have made and the challenges that you've made, that you've confronted, all of those things are incredibly important. I guess, you know, authenticity is absolutely important here. And once again, I'll say, there are so many people that we've seen who are excellent, but we haven't been able to offer it to everybody. So I will say this to everyone now, that if you do not get selected, do not take that as any kind of sign that somehow you failed, because it is just a very difficult process. And I wish that there were more, you know, there was more positions for more people. I will also encourage you to apply to other places as well. There are other programs that offer the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. There are also other scholarships that people can get as well. So, you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket, so to say. All right, I'm going to move.
There's a couple of questions on IELTS. Again, if you are required an IELTS, or do you need an IELTS or TOEFL and that kind of questions, you have to discuss that with your program of interest. We do not assist in that regard. We do not assist in the admission process. So you have to reach out to your program of interest, double check with them whether you need those English tests. And then the scholars program also do not assist in you getting the test taken. So anything regarding admission or what materials you need for admission, you have to reach out to the program of your interest. We are a scholars program, and your application only comes to us once you submitted your application. Yes, we try to provide application fee waiver, but that's very, very limited. So those are our only places when it comes to UC Berkeley. So just differentiate what our role is versus what is the role of your program.
Mm-hmm. And I'll also say, some people are saying, okay, they've applied for the application fee waiver and they haven't heard yet. We will be taking all of those at once and doing a review. I think, Maren, is it after November 15th?
November 16 is a deadline for people to submit application.
Right.
And then we will, in a discussion with programs, we will award after November 20th. Mm-hmm. You will not know now. You will not, if you submit today, you will not know automatically that whether you received or not, because it's a pull off application. Again, we told you last year there was about 800 applications. We don't know how many we get in, and based on that, we only have very limited that we have to award. So we have to see who gets in, who doesn't get it. So again, if you can pay for it, try to pay for it yourself, because we have very, very limited. It does not compare to the demand.
Let's see, another question. We will make the recording available as soon as possible afterwards. You'll see that right now we have captioning. Before we can post it, we have to make sure that the recording, the captionings on the recording are fully acceptable. We actually have laws here in the United States about what is acceptable in terms of the captioning. So we will do that. We will make sure that it is well done, and you'll see it on our website. It'll be posted there as soon as we can. There is also a question about data analytics and why is that not part of the program. Master's degree programs that are online, we don't, and I believe the data analytics is online. We're not considering those at this point because of the importance of the work that we do on campus with the scholars there. So right now the online programs are not acceptable, are not part of our program. And at this point, yes, the ones that we've listed are eligible. If there is a program that you're interested in that we haven't listed, contact us. There may be a reason we've already decided that it doesn't fit timing wise or funding wise or otherwise. But I will say this, that there's new programs at Berkeley all the time. Sometimes we're just learning about them. And so if, just let us know if the program you're interested in is not listed. And yes, for the application fee waiver, you do have to apply before November 16th, but not for the admissions process. The admissions deadlines are whatever the program that you're applying to has an admission program. So and somebody also asked about, they've completed the application, but they need the recommendations. I believe that once in the application online, once you put in the names of the people who will be your recommenders and then send them the link so that they can give you the recommendation, once you put those in, then the invitation will be there for applying for the fee waiver. You will not get an invitation to apply for the scholarship though until sometime, I mean, if you're going to get one, you won't be getting that until February. Because we have, once all these applications come in, we have to go through all of those, and then we'll invite people to apply for the scholars program.
So for those of you who are requesting, when can I get this recording? I joined late, or where can I get the one from last year? Send us an email to the email address I'm leaving it on the chat section. I'll repost it again. Once you send us that email, we'll respond to you maybe for the next few days with the one from last year. But again, if we have the captioning ready and set, and then maybe we'll send you today's one even immediately. But send us an email and then we'll send you the full recording of today or the one from last year. We'll try to aim for the one from today.
Let's see. Okay. Aisha Idrisu, you can ask your question if you're still there.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Please, my question is that I actually intend to apply for an MBA, but I want to know if I'll be eligible for the Mastercard scholarship if I have a master's degree already.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. You know, we are definitely trying to make sure as many people as possible get opportunities. So if there's a really good reason and it makes sense, and you have there's a lot of compelling reasons behind it, that may be perfectly possible. You know, a lot of people, their journeys, it's basically about your journey. So you can apply and we'll see, we see what happens. All right. It doesn't make you ineligible. All right.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. I have somebody named a Zoom user. I don't know what your name is, but you're next in line. And so I've given you the opportunity to ask your question.
Yes, hello, thank you. I joined both on my phone and my laptop, so I did that. Anyways, I'm Esther, and I have a question. You talked about for the communication on the slides. It was talking about how if I apply for the program, I need to wait for you guys to contact me for the Mastercard application scholarship. So I was wondering whether I just apply for the program and then wait for you guys, or I need to apply for the Mastercard separately.
Right. You're correct in the first case that you would apply for the degree program you're interested in. That
Yeah.
all gets funneled into their processes for review and selection. Once
Mhm.
they begin to understand the cohorts that they're considering, they'll let us know, they nominate to us. And they basically, the folks that they're considering will find out about that. We also go back and forth. We have lists of everybody who's applied. So we check with the departments and say, well, we see that these people, they look like they're from sub-Saharan Africa. Are you considering them? So there's a lot of back and forth between us and the programs, but it is only after a point that we will, when the pools start to narrow down, that we will then invite people to apply to the Scholars Program. If you get invited to the Scholars Program, that does not mean you will be admitted. So every program has a different process and how they go through their selections. Some programs figure out very early who they want to admit, and they'll tell you right away. They might even tell you in February that they've admitted you. Other programs won't tell you that they've admitted you until April 1st, practically, or maybe the end of March. But we are waiting. We have to work with the departments until they figure out the pool of people that they're considering. And it's somewhere in that point around January, February, that we'll begin to figure out who we're going to invite to apply.
So I do separate application for the Mastercard.
It is a different application. It's a different application, but it is through the same platform that you've applied to the graduate program, through the Slate platform. So you'll get, if you're applied, if you get invited to apply, you'll get an email that'll tell you, okay, open up this thing, and it is that familiar platform. Okay.
Oh, makes sense. Thank you.
Esther Naziwa.
Well,
That's
Same
you.
person.
That's the same person. Okay, Esther. Then I'm going to go to Peter James. Whoops, Peter James.
Okay, just some questions that's coming on the chat section. You are asking if you are in lower grade and this and that.
I am trying to, okay, thank you. I guess I'm unmuted now.
Okay.
All right, my question is that I have actually started my application, and I went further, I've completed my application actually, and then I have went further to submit my application. Then, but the fee waiver, I have not paid the fee waiver. So according to what you said that we are going to be sent an email once we start the applications to apply for the fee waiver. I'm particularly concerned about the fee waiver.
Mm-hmm.
When will I get an email to apply for the fee waiver? Because I've actually clicked submit application, but it's still showing me to pay for the fee waiver.
Maybe I can respond to that. So Peter, one, make sure you are applying to a program that qualifies for the Scholars Program. The master's.
Yes, I applied for public policy.
Okay. Second,
yes,
okay, double check your spam or your email addresses, because it might have gone to your spam. Double check that too. And then after you've done that, if you don't see it, then send us an email to the email address we put in on the chat section. You should have received it. If you have if you have filled out most of your information and then you send an email to 2 of your recommenders to send you a recommendation letter, you should have received it.
Yes, all the people that are supposed to reference me, they have submitted all the applications, although the reference later.
Okay, so double check your spam. If not, then send us an email.
Yeah, and somebody's also asking about public health. Because of the SOFIS system, it does work a little bit differently. I believe, Marin, didn't we have to work out a workaround for the public health degrees? But if you are applying for public health and you haven't yet gotten an email for a fee waiver, but you've submitted your the 2 references, the request to get the 2 references, send us an email and we'll make sure, just because public health, the law program, different programs work a little bit differently. Most of them go through the same process, the main process, but a few have another process. So please send us an email you think that you've done what you're supposed to do, but you haven't received the opportunity to apply for the fee waiver yet.
All right. So yeah, my question is this: does this scholarship program has a age limit?
An age limit?
Yes.
You know, the foundation is focusing on youth, and they have a stated preference for people under the age of 35. We do not discriminate on the basis of age. So we don't. So yes, anybody could apply. I think, you know, people that have had more time to experience life would be bringing a different kind of application potentially. And that's neither to say it's better or worse. It would just be a slightly different life experience. So you can apply.
All right, thank you.
All right. Robel Mesfen, I'm going to unmute you now.
Okay, hi. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks so much. I'm Robel and I'm from Ethiopia, and I'm looking forward to apply for the Master of Architecture. And firstly, I want to ask about the application fee waiver. I heard that in order to be evaluated for the application fee waiver, we have to fill in some demographics, and also we have to invite 2 recommenders.
Correct.
And I want to ask, is inviting our recommenders enough, or do our recommenders have to submit their recommendations before November 16?
No, they do not have to submit it before then. You just have to, we're looking to make sure people are serious enough about the application that they've actually contacted somebody and said, I'm going to do this and I want you to be my reference. So we're trying to get to the point where people we know that they're serious about applying. So that's all. Yep.
Okay, thanks so much. And also, may I ask, I saw that the Master of Architecture and the Master of Community Planning, they are both eligible for the Mastercard scholarships. But I saw that there's a concurrent degree program at Berkeley. So if I select the concurrent degree program, I will not be nominated, right?
Yeah, I would choose one or the other if you're really serious about the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. It was a difficult choice for us, but because those concurrent programs take 3 years, and the foundation, in all our negotiations with them, we've talked about, you know, master's degree programs that are 2 years. There's some that are 1 year, that's fine. There's some that are 3 semesters, 1.5 years, that's fine. 4 semesters is fine. But when it gets to 6 semesters, that is beyond what we have committed to at this point.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marcella.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Abena Manu. Abena.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask about the reference, but I think the previous person asked, so I'm okay.
Okay. All right, great. Then I'm going to go to Abraham Dang. Go ahead, Abraham.
Good evening. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I am asking about the program that I want to do. I've already started application, but I haven't finished yet. I'm applying for Master of Analytics, which is a little bit different from the data analytics, which you mentioned earlier, that it is online. So this program, according to the information on website, is in person. So I would request for the clarification on whether this is online or it is different from the data analytics. And again, I have not seen it on the program you listed before on the slide. And yeah, I'm just requesting for the clarification on that. Thank you.
Yes, I believe that's one of the newer master's degree programs, and I cannot remember if we've had a discussion with them about it. So can you email us and we'll double check to see if it is something that we can include. All right. Okay, Andrew Stephen Boima, please go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask, when can you apply for the master degree program? Let's say, for instance, if you are in your final year, do you need to apply? Can you apply, or do you have to wait until you get your degree? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly apply if you're in your final year. Remember the depending on where you are, the academic years might be slightly different. So Berkeley starts in August, continues through May. The application process is to start in that fall semester, which starts in August. That application process, the deadlines for the admissions is sometime in December or January. I will say that certainly we have many wonderful scholars who have come straight from undergraduate into the master's degree programs. That's not impossible. I will also say that often if you have some experience once you finish your undergraduate degree of doing something, whether it's employment or maybe sometimes people do national service, or they have some other opportunities that they're pursuing between the time that they finish their undergraduate degree and when they go into graduate school, that often gives them a perspective on their own ambitions and vision and what it is that helps them formulate what they want to do, and makes them stronger in understanding their pathway in the world. It's not impossible to go straight from undergraduate to graduate school, but you don't have to do that. So I hope that answers your question. All right. I am going to go to McBride Owusa. And I know we're at the hour. I'm not sure. Yeah, go ahead, McBride.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, please, my question is about the application fee waiver. Is there a link for applying for the fee waiver?
A link.
Yeah.
There is not a direct link. You have to complete a certain portion of the application, including the request to 2 references. And once you get to that point, filling out enough information, then you'll get an email that says you can apply for the fee waiver.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll take 3 more and then we'll close it. 3 last questions.
Okay.
Again, I'm putting the email address for the Scholars Program on the chat section. You can reach out to us through the email address.
Okay. Let's see. Ifeanyi Ibem, I'm going to give you the floor right now. Ifeanyi.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so just a quick one. I wanted to confirm because I've heard a lot of people saying 2 recommendation letters. So the program I'm currently applying, I can see 3 recommendation letters. So is it like that's a must, or 2 recommendation letters is enough?
In order to trigger the email to get the fee waiver, 2 is enough. If your program wants more letters, that's between you and the program. But just for the fee waiver, it's just requesting 2 letters. Okay. And I also, in general, anything that involves admission, the GPA grades, things like that, you have to ask the graduate division or the degree program about this. Okay, let's see. Sador, go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Sador and I'm from Eritrea. The question that I want to ask is, I did my bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering, and I want to apply for the master's in translational medicine, which is run concurrently by UC Berkeley and UC San Francisco. So am I eligible to apply for that program in order to?
Yes, we actually have a student in that program right now. You are eligible. Okay,
thank you.
Great. Fardusa Abdulaziz, go ahead.
Hello.
Oh, yes, go ahead. Whoops, I'm sorry. I actually accidentally muted you. Go ahead and unmute. Go ahead.
Okay, hello everyone. My question is, if I already have my recommendation letter, should it be like directly for you guys, or it's just like a general recommendation letter?
Oh, yeah, you would never submit anything like that directly to us. Everything has to go through the system online. And I believe, so you have to request that the person submits the letter online. You actually can't submit the letter for them. They have to be able to submit it, upload it to the system.
No, I mean, sorry.
Go ahead.
I mean, I already have the recommendation letter from my lecturer and from my previous supervisor, but it was not directly to you guys. It was not intended for the scholarship. Can I use that one?
Right, but okay, so the letter of recommendation is not for the scholarship. That's fine. The letter of recommendation is actually for admission. So we just want to make sure that before people get that link for applying for the fee waiver, the application fee waiver, that they have seriously put the effort into applying for admission. So there's so you put that in there, and if you haven't gotten the email to apply for the fee waiver yet, then send us an email about that. Okay.
And
Okay,
it's been exactly an hour. I guess this is where we say thank you to everyone for joining us today. Again, if you have questions, it's on the chat section where how you can reach out to us. It's mcfs.programinfo@berkeley.edu. I believe we can get the email address for everyone. Once we get that from the graduate division, we should be able to send you the recording of this session, the recording of this Zoom session that we had. With that, again, send us any questions that you have to the email address I just posted again. My name is Miron Someda. I'm the advisor for the Scholars Program, and Martha Saavedra, the program manager for the Scholars Program at UC Berkeley. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Yes, thanks. I know there's questions that we haven't answered yet, but please do email us and we will attend to them in email. All right. Thank you.